The United States military is considered to be one of the most powerful in the world, having 450,000 active members. However, not all of our missions have been successful ones. One of the most famous of our failed missions being the Battle of Mogadishu, also known as Blackhawk Down wasn't just a famous movie directed by David Keane. It was a real conflict between the US and Somalia on October 3rd, 1993. In the battle, 18 US soldiers were killed and 84 wounded, Mike Goodale being one of the wounded. Mike Goodale was a former US Ranger that fought in the Battle of Mogadishu. He recalled before the battle being excited to be a part of the conflict.
You know, we had been training to do Ranger missions our entire career in the military, which for most of us was still pretty short. It was, you know, two years, 3 years maybe, but it had all been training missions. So we were, you know, in our minds we were playing Army. There was not anybody actually shooting back. So we wanted to put our training into action.
When Goodale made it to Somalia, he was tasked to be one of the artillery soldiers, fighting alongside them and getting him more ammunition in the fight. Unfortunately, during the fight, Mike was shot in the leg and had to be sent home. When he came home, he was surrounded by the media talking about the battle that had just occurred, and was taken aback by what they were saying.
I had just been evacuated to the hospital in Landstuhl, Germany, and that the newspaper came out with one of the bodies being dragged. And I saw it that day. And I walked down to the day room. There were a bunch of us that were there. And I was like, did you guys see this? And they're like, yeah, we saw that. Just infuriated me was that they didn't blur the image at all. I saw it. I knew exactly who it was. And this is a guy who I had just met when we put the task force together. I happened to sit just behind him in the aircraft. He was our crew chief. He came around and he had just bought like a small shirt, and it was something that he found, you know, somebody like down along the coast of of Mogadishu, and it was something about Somalia. And he's like, hey, my son just turned 8 years old, and I want to have everybody on the aircraft sign this for him. And we're like, oh yeah, dude, that's awesome. Yeah, so we all signed it and gave it back to him, and he sent it home. And I remember seeing his picture in the paper and sitting there thinking, damn it, you know, they put this guy's picture all across the world, and I know his 8-year-old son. If I know who that is, and I've just been with this guy for 2 months, you darn sure better believe that his 8-year-old son knows that that's his dad.
War is truly awful, even with the honor someone may gain from it. It's a reminder that our lives could flash right in front of us and not even realize it. And it's best to show appreciation for the lives we have been given.
It made me a lot more conscious, I guess, of how precious life really is. I do tend to get a little bit short with people who get really worked up about, this didn't go right in my life. This is, something that's going against me, and I can't do this. And I kind of look at him and go, you know what? You still got a pretty good life, and we're living in a country where you have those opportunities to be upset about those things. I've been to places where, kids don't have books to read. You don't have to sit on a dirt floor. You have flushing toilets. Consider yourselves pretty lucky.
And according to the Pew Research Center, veterans manage to make around 6% of the adult population, and yet it feels like we don't show enough appreciation to the small percentage of people that risk their lives for us. So if you know a veteran in your life, go give them some support. I'm Tim Addison for The Current.